California DMV practice test. Test 1. Question 1. It is illegal for a person 21 years of age or older to drive with a blood alcohol concentration, BAC, that is, or higher. Option A. 0.08% 0.08 of 1%. Option B. 0.1% 0.1 of 1%. Option C. 0.05% 0.05 of 1%. The correct answer is 0.08% 0.08 of 1%. Explanation. In the United States, the legal limit for blood alcohol concentration, BAC, for a person 21 years of age or older is typically 0.08%. Therefore, it is illegal to drive with a BAC of 0.08% or higher. Test 1. Question 2. You must notify DMV within 5 days if you: Option A. Sell or transfer your vehicle. Option B. Are cited for a traffic violation. Option C. Paint your vehicle a different color. The correct answer is sell or transfer your vehicle. Explanation. If you sell or transfer ownership of your vehicle to another person, you must notify the California DMV within 5 days of the sale or transfer. This is crucial to update the vehicle's ownership records and remove your liability for the vehicle. Test 1. Question 3. On a freeway, you should look farther ahead than you would on a city street. Option A. Because it takes 1/4 of a mile to stop your vehicle completely. Option B. In order to see potential hazards early. Option C. Because it helps you keep up with traffic. The correct answer is in order to see potential hazards early. Explanation. The high speeds on freeways mean that potential hazards can approach and escalate more quickly than on city streets. Looking farther ahead allows you to anticipate and react to potential dangers, change lanes safely, and maintain a safe following distance from the vehicles in front of you. While it's true that maintaining awareness of traffic flow and keeping up with traffic is important on freeways. Test 1. Question 4. Slowing down just to look at accidents, road construction, or broken down vehicles on the side of the road. Option A. Prevents rear-end collisions. Option B. Improves traffic flow by preventing accidents. Option C. Causes traffic congestion. The correct answer is causes traffic congestion. Explanation. Slowing down to look at accidents, road construction, or broken down vehicles on the side of the road can cause traffic congestion because it disrupts the smooth flow of traffic. When drivers reduce their speed to observe such incidents, it creates a ripple effect as the vehicles behind them also slow down. Test 1. Question 5. A red arrow pointing to the right on a traffic light means you may: Option A. Turn in that direction after slowing and checking for traffic. Option B. Not turn in that direction until the light turns green. Option C. Turn in that direction after you come to a complete stop. The correct answer is not turn in that direction until the light turns green. Explanation. A red arrow pointing to the right indicates that you must stop and not make a right turn until the signal changes to green. Making a right turn against a red arrow signal is typically prohibited and can result in a traffic violation. Test 1. Question 6. When should you yield your legal right-of-way? Option A. Often, even at controlled intersections. Option B. Whenever it helps prevent accidents. Option C. Never. It confuses other drivers. The correct answer is whenever it helps prevent accidents. Explanation. Yielding your legal right-of-way is important for safety. Even if you have the right-of-way according to traffic laws, you should yield it when doing so helps prevent accidents or promote safe and smooth traffic flow. Safety should always be a priority when driving, and this often involves yielding even when you have the right-of-way to avoid potential collisions or dangerous situations. Test 1. Question 7. 3 of the most important times to check for traffic behind you or before. Option A. Backing, making a sharp turn, or crossing an intersection. Option B. Backing, changing lanes, or slowing down quickly. Option C. Changing lanes, crossing intersections, or slowing down quickly. The correct answer is backing, changing lanes, or slowing down quickly. Explanation. Backing, changing lanes, or slowing down quickly. These are indeed 3 of the most important times to check for traffic behind you while driving. Checking for traffic before changing lanes, slowing down quickly, or when backing up is essential to ensure the safety of yourself and other road users. Test 1. Question 8. After passing a car, it is safe to return to your driving lane when. Option A. The driver you passed signals for you to return to your lane. Option B. You signal your intention for 3 seconds. Option C. You see the headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. The correct answer is you see the headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. Explanation. Returning to your driving lane after passing a car is safest when you can see the headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. This ensures that you have put enough distance between your vehicle and the one you just passed, reducing the risk of a collision when merging back into your lane. Test 1. Question 9. You are approaching a green traffic light in traffic, but traffic is blocking the intersection. What is the best thing to do? Option A. Partially enter the intersection to establish your right-of-way. Option B. Don't enter the intersection until you can get completely across. Option C. Continue into the intersection and wait for traffic to clear. The correct answer is don't enter the intersection until you can get completely across. Explanation. When approaching a green traffic light but traffic is blocking the intersection, it's best to wait behind the stop line or at the intersection's entrance until you can clear the entire intersection. Blocking an intersection can impede the flow of cross traffic and may lead to traffic congestion and safety hazards. Always ensure you have enough space to completely clear the intersection before entering it. Test 1. Question 10. You are driving on a freeway posted of 65 miles per hour. Traffic is heavy and moving at 35 miles per hour. The best speed for your vehicle is most likely Option A. 25 miles per hour. Option B. 35 miles per hour. Option C. 30 miles per hour. The correct answer is 35 miles per hour. Explanation. When driving on a freeway with heavy traffic moving at a slower speed, it is generally best to maintain a speed that is consistent with the flow of traffic, which in this case is 35 miles per hour. Driving significantly slower than the surrounding traffic can create safety hazards and disrupt the flow of vehicles. Always adapt your speed to match the prevailing traffic conditions for the safety of everyone on the road. Test 1. Question 11. You must look for bicycle riders in the same lanes used by motor vehicles because they. Option A. Must ride facing oncoming traffic. Option B. Illegally share lanes with motor vehicles. Option C. Are entitled to share the road with you. The correct answer is are entitled to share the road with you. Explanation. Bicycle riders are typically considered legal road users and are entitled to share the road with motor vehicles in many places. However, the specific rules and regulations regarding bicycle use on the road can vary by location, so it's important to be aware of the local laws and guidelines regarding bicycle riders in your area. Riding facing oncoming traffic is generally not the recommended or legal way for bicycle riders to travel on the road. Test 1. Question 12. A pedestrian who is blind or visually impaired uses traffic sounds before deciding to cross the street. If you see a pedestrian with a guide dog or white cane waiting to cross at a corner, you should. Option A. Stop at the crosswalk and honk your horn. Option B. Drive into the crosswalk so the person can hear your engine. Option C. Pull up to the crosswalk so the person can hear your engine. The correct answer is pull up to the crosswalk so the person can hear your engine. Explanation. This allows the person to hear the location of your vehicle and determine when it is safe to cross the street. It is important to exercise caution and be patient when encountering pedestrians with visual impairments to ensure their safety. Honking your horn or driving into the crosswalk can be disruptive and potentially dangerous for the pedestrian. Test 1. Question 13. Yellow lines separate. Option A. Traffic lanes on one-way streets. Option B. Traffic moving in opposite directions on a two-way road. Option C. All carpool lanes from regular traffic lanes. The correct answer is traffic moving in opposite directions on a two-way road. Explanation. Yellow lines are used to mark the center of a two-way road or highway, indicating that traffic on one side of the line is traveling in one direction, and traffic on the other side of the line is traveling in the opposite direction. They serve as a visual cue to drivers to stay in their respective lanes and to prevent vehicles from crossing into oncoming traffic. Yellow lines may also be used in other specific situations, such as designating carpool lanes or HOV, high occupancy vehicle, lanes, but the general rule is that they separate traffic lanes on two-way roads moving in opposite directions. Test 1. Question 14. It is illegal to leave a child age 6 or younger unattended in a car on a hot day. Option A. Even if they are secured in a child passenger restraint system. Option B. If they are supervised by a person 12 years of age or older. Option C. Only if the key is in the ignition. The correct answer is even if they are secured in a child passenger restraint system. Explanation. Leaving a child unattended in a car, especially on a hot day, is generally considered dangerous and can be illegal in many jurisdictions to prevent the risk of heat stroke or other hazards. The presence of the key in the ignition is not typically the determining factor. The focus is on the child's safety and well-being. While some laws may specify certain conditions or exceptions, the general principle is to ensure the safety of young children in hot vehicles by not leaving them unattended. Laws can vary by location, so it's essential to be aware of local regulations. Test 1. Question 15. This sign means don't pass. Option A. Until after you pass the sign. Option B. Unless it seems safe to do so. Option C. Other vehicles for any reason. The correct answer is other vehicles for any reason. Explanation. This sign indicates that you are not allowed to pass other vehicles under any circumstances. It is a strict prohibition against overtaking or passing other vehicles on that particular stretch of road. You should not attempt to pass other vehicles while this sign is in effect, regardless of the circumstances. Passing in a no-passing zone can be dangerous and illegal. Test 1. Question 16. A car suddenly cuts in front of you, creating a hazard. What should you do first? Option A. Honk and step on the brake firmly. Option B. Take your foot off the gas. Option C. Swerve into the lane next to. The correct answer is take your foot off the gas. Explanation. You should immediately ease off the accelerator to create more space between your vehicle and the car that cut in front of you. This allows you to maintain control of your vehicle and gives you more time to react to the situation. Honking and braking firmly may also be necessary, depending on the circumstances, but taking your foot off the gas is the initial and most important action to take. Swerving into another lane should generally be avoided unless it is absolutely necessary to avoid a collision and can be done safely. Test 1. Question 17. On freezing, wet days, which of the following roadways is most likely to hide spots of ice? Option A. Roadways near the tops of hills. Option B. Roadways on bridges and overpasses. Option C. Roadways paved with asphalt. The correct answer is roadways on bridges and overpasses. Explanation. On freezing, wet days, roadways on bridges and overpasses are most likely to hide spots of ice. Bridges and overpasses tend to freeze more quickly than other parts of the road because they are exposed to cold air from all sides, including from below. This rapid cooling can lead to the formation of ice patches, even when other parts of the road may appear to be clear. Therefore, it's important to exercise caution when driving on bridges and overpasses during freezing and wet conditions, as they can become slippery and pose a greater risk of ice formation compared to other sections of the roadway. Test 1. Question 18. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should. Option A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. Option B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. Option C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. The correct answer is slow to a safe speed before the curve. Explanation. It's important to reduce your speed before entering the curve to maintain control of your vehicle. Descending on a curved ramp can increase the risk of losing control, especially if you enter the curve at too high a speed. Slowing down before the curve allows you to navigate it safely. Waiting until you have entered the curve to begin braking may not provide enough time to adjust your speed, and slowing to the posted speed limit for the freeway is not the best approach, as the recommended speed for the ramp may be lower due to its curve and downhill slope. Test 1. Question 19. A pedestrian starts to cross the street after the don't walk signal begins to flash. The pedestrian is in the middle of the street when your signal light changes to green. You should. Option A. Proceed if you have the right of way. Option B. Proceed if the pedestrian is not in your lane. Option C. Wait until the pedestrian crosses the street before proceeding. The correct answer is wait until the pedestrian crosses the street before proceeding. Explanation. Even if your signal light changes to green, you must yield the right of way to the pedestrian who is already in the middle of the street. It's important to prioritize pedestrian safety. Wait until the pedestrian has safely crossed the street before proceeding through the intersection. Test 1. Question 20. You may make a left turn on a red light only from A. Option A. One-way street onto a two-way street. Option B. One-way street onto a one-way street. Option C. Two-way street onto a one-way street. The correct answer is one-way street onto a one-way street. Explanation. In some locations, it is allowed to make a left turn on a red light when you are on a one-way street turning onto another one-way street. However, this traffic rule can vary by jurisdiction, so it's essential to familiarize yourself with the specific traffic laws in your area. Making a left turn on a red light from a two-way street onto any other street is typically not allowed unless posted otherwise. Test 1. Question 21. An orange and red sign of this shape always means Option A. The vehicle has the right of way. Option B. Slow-moving vehicle. Option C. Shoulder work ahead. The correct answer is slow-moving vehicle. Explanation. The slow-moving vehicle sign is a triangular-shaped, fluorescent orange-red sign with a reflective border and a reflective symbol. It is used to warn other road users that they are approaching a vehicle that is moving at a significantly slower speed than the normal flow of traffic. The sign is typically used on the back of slow-moving vehicles to increase their visibility and alert drivers behind them to exercise caution. Test 1. Question 22. When a school bus with its red lights flashing is stopped ahead on your side of the road, you must: Option A. Stop until all the children have left the bus. Option B. Stop until the lights stop flashing. Option C. Change lanes, drive slowly, and pass cautiously. The correct answer is stop until the lights stop flashing. Explanation. It is typically a legal requirement to come to a complete stop when you approach a school bus with its red lights flashing, regardless of whether the children have left the bus. This is done to ensure the safety of the children who are boarding or exiting the bus. You should not attempt to pass the school bus until the red lights stop flashing and the bus begins to move again, and it is safe and legal to do so. Traffic laws regarding school bus stops may vary by location, so it's important to be familiar with the specific regulations in your area. Test 1. Question 23. A curb painted blue means parking is: Option A. Allowed for no longer than 15 minutes. Option B. For picking up or dropping off passengers. Option C. For disabled persons with a special placard or plate. The correct answer is for disabled persons with a special placard or plate. Explanation. Blue painted curbs are often used to indicate designated parking spaces for individuals with disabilities. These parking spaces are reserved for people who have a valid disability placard or license plate and are intended to provide accessible parking close to buildings and facilities. Parking in these spaces without the required disability permit is usually a violation of traffic regulations and can result in fines or penalties. The exact rules and regulations regarding disabled parking spaces may vary by jurisdiction, so it's important to be aware of the local laws in your area. Test 1. Question 24. To help avoid skidding on slippery surfaces, you should: Option A. Shift to a lower gear after starting down a steep hill. Option B. Speed up to enter curves and slow down to exit them. Option C. Slow down before entering curves and intersections. The correct answer is slow down before entering curves and intersections. Explanation. Slowing down before entering curves and intersections is essential for maintaining control of your vehicle, especially on slippery surfaces like wet or icy roads. This allows you to reduce your speed gradually and maintain traction. Speeding up to enter curves and slowing down to exit them is not a safe practice, especially on slippery surfaces, as it increases the risk of skidding and losing control of your vehicle. Additionally, shifting to a lower gear after starting down a steep hill can be a good practice to help control your speed and reduce the risk of skidding in certain situations. Test 1. Question 25. You are driving and there are oncoming cars on your left and a row of parked cars on your right. You should steer: Option A. Closer to the oncoming cars than the parked cars. Option B. Closer to the parked cars than the parked cars. Option C. A middle course between the oncoming cars and the parked cars. The correct answer is a middle course between the oncoming cars and the parked cars. Explanation. This means you should position your vehicle in the center of your lane, maintaining an equal distance between the oncoming traffic and the parked cars on your right. This allows for the safest and most balanced driving position, reducing the risk of colliding with either the oncoming cars or the parked vehicles. Always aim to maintain a safe and centered position within your lane when faced with this type of road configuration. Test 1. Question 26. You must notify law enforcement and make a written request, SR1, to DMV when? Option A. You intend to file a certificate of non-operation for your vehicle. Option B. Your vehicle is towed for parking illegally. Option C. You have an accident and there is an injury or death. The correct answer is: you have an accident and there is an injury or death. Explanation. In the event of a traffic accident that results in injury or death, it is generally required to report the accident to law enforcement and submit a written report to the DMV. This is an important part of the process to document and investigate such incidents for safety and legal reasons. The specific reporting requirements and procedures may vary by jurisdiction, so it's essential to follow the laws and regulations in your area when involved in a traffic accident. Reporting non-injury accidents or other issues like filing a certificate of non-operation for your vehicle typically have different procedures and may not require immediate notification to law enforcement or the DMV. Test 1. Question 27. Drivers of large trucks often travel with a lot of space in front of their vehicle. This extra space is needed for: Option A. Other drivers to use when merging onto an off-ramp. Option B. The truck driver to use for stopping the vehicle. Option C. Other drivers to use when they want to slow down. The correct answer is: the truck driver to use for stopping the vehicle. Explanation. Large trucks, such as tractor-trailers, require significantly more stopping distance compared to passenger cars due to their size and weight. The extra space in front of the truck allows the truck driver to have a buffer zone to safely slow down and stop the vehicle, especially in emergency situations. Maintaining this space helps reduce the risk of rear-end collisions and allows the truck driver to have better control over the vehicle's braking. It's crucial for all drivers to be aware of the stopping distances required for different types of vehicles and to drive with safety in mind around large trucks. Test 1. Question 28. A safety zone is a specially marked area for passengers to get on or off buses or trolleys. You may not drive through a safety zone. Option A. Only when a bus or trolley is present. Option B. Only when a bus or trolley is unloading passengers. Option C. At any time for any reason. The correct answer is: at any time for any reason. Explanation. A safety zone is a designated area for passengers to get on or off buses or trolleys safely. It is typically marked with special pavement markings and signs. You should never drive through a safety zone, regardless of whether a bus or trolley is present or unloading passengers. These zones are reserved for the safety and convenience of passengers, and driving through them is prohibited to prevent potential accidents or hazards. Test 1. Question 29. Which of these statements is true about drinking alcohol and driving? Option A. If you can walk a straight line after drinking, it is safe to drive. Option B. If you are under the legal blood alcohol concentration limit, your driving isn't impaired. Option C. Alcohol affects judgment and self-control, which are needed to driving safely. The correct answer is: alcohol affects judgment and self-control, which are needed to driving safely. Explanation. Drinking alcohol impairs cognitive functions, including judgment, reaction time, and self-control, all of which are crucial for safe driving. Even if a person is under the legal blood alcohol concentration (BAC) limit, they can still be impaired and unfit to drive safely. It is essential to understand that any amount of alcohol can impair your ability to drive, and the safest choice is to not drink and drive at all. Relying on physical tests like walking a straight line is not a reliable indicator of sobriety or driving ability. It's always best to designate a sober driver or use alternative transportation if you have been drinking. Test 1. Question 30. You should signal continuously while turning because it. Option A. Is illegal to turn off your signal before completing a turn. Option B. Lets other drivers know what your intentions are. Option C. Is always unsafe to turn off a signal before completing a turn. The correct answer is. Lets other drivers know what your intentions are. Explanation. Signaling while turning is essential for communication between drivers on the road. It informs other drivers of your intention to make a turn, allowing them to anticipate your actions and adjust their driving accordingly. Signaling helps promote safety and smooth traffic flow. It's not necessarily illegal to turn off your signal before completing a turn, but it's generally recommended to keep it on until you have completed the turn or lane change to ensure other drivers have adequate notice of your maneuver. Test 1. Question 31. You must yield the right-of-way to an emergency vehicle by. Option A. Driving as near to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. Option B. Moving into the right lane and driving slowly until it has passed. Option C. Stopping immediately, even if you are in an intersection. The correct answer is. Driving as near to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. Explanation. When an emergency vehicle with its lights and sirens activated is approaching, you should pull over to the right side of the road and come to a complete stop as soon as it's safe to do so. This allows the emergency vehicle to pass safely and quickly. Yielding the right-of-way to emergency vehicles is a crucial safety practice on the road. Test 1. Question 32. You can drive off the road to pass another vehicle. Option A. If the vehicle ahead is turning left. Option B. If there are 2 or more lanes traveling in your direction. Option C. Under no circumstances. The correct answer is. Under no circumstances. Explanation. Passing another vehicle by driving off the road is typically illegal and unsafe. You should always follow the rules of the road and only pass another vehicle when it is legal and safe to do so. Passing off the road can be dangerous for both you and other road users and should be avoided. Always exercise caution and follow traffic laws when overtaking another vehicle. Test 1. Question 33. When parking on a hill on a two-way street with no curb, you should. Option A. Turn your front wheels to the left, always from the side of the road. Option B. Park at a slight angle, rear wheels closer to the road's edge. Option C. Turn your front wheels to the right, toward the side of the road. The correct answer is. Turn your front wheels to the right, toward the side of the road. Explanation. Turning your front wheels to the right when parking uphill with no curb, or turning them to the left when parking downhill with no curb, is a safety measure. This helps prevent your vehicle from rolling into the roadway if the brakes fail while parked on a hill. The idea is to have your vehicle roll off the road and away from traffic if something goes wrong. This practice is often referred to as curb your wheels and is a common parking safety guideline. Test 1. Question 34. Flash your brake lights or turn on your emergency flashers if you. Option A. Need to warn other drivers of an accident ahead. Option B. Are temporarily parked in a traffic lane to make delivery. Option C. Are backing out of a parking space. The correct answer is. Need to warn other drivers of an accident ahead. Explanation. Flashing your brake lights or activating your emergency flashers in this situation can help alert other drivers to the presence of an accident or hazard on the road ahead. It's a way to communicate to other drivers that they should slow down, exercise caution, and be prepared for potential delays or obstructions. This is an important safety practice to help prevent additional accidents or incidents near the scene of an accident. Test 1. Question 35. You must notify the DMV within 5 days if you: Option A. Are cited for a traffic violation. Option B. Sell or transfer your vehicle. Option C. Paint your vehicle a different color. The correct answer is: sell or transfer your vehicle. Explanation. When you sell or transfer ownership of your vehicle to another party, it's crucial to inform the DMV to update the vehicle's ownership records. This helps ensure that you are no longer responsible for the vehicle and any associated liabilities, such as registration fees or parking tickets. Test 1. Question 36. Backing your vehicle is: Option A. Always dangerous to do. Option B. Dangerous if you have a helper. Option C. Only dangerous in large vehicles. The correct answer is: always dangerous to do. Explanation. Backing your vehicle can indeed be dangerous if not done with caution and attention to safety. It's important to emphasize the potential risks associated with backing up a vehicle. The level of danger depends on various factors.